Kerrigan grew up poor near Portland, Oregon. In addition to hunting and other outdoor activities, she trained as an ice skater throughout her youth while being asthmatic. Her mother, who was abusive, spent most of her wages on the competitive world of ice skating, featuring the predominantly middle to upper class. After years of disappointing scores, she had a breakthrough in February 1991 at 20 years old at the U.S. Championships when she landed the near-impossible triple axel.
She will do a triple axel. First, a triple Lutz. And now the question is whether she will become the first American to attempt and complete a triple axel jump. We will know that here, whether she tries it or not. Good girl! Oh, isn't that great? The first time an American, only Midori Ito, has completed a triple axel in competition.
My favorite part about that is she skated to the Batman animated theme song by Danny Elfman. The trick was so impossible that she was the first American woman and second woman in the world, period, to nail it during competition. At the world competition the next month, she landed another triple axel and won the silver, taking second. Kristi Yamaguchi took gold, and she was everywhere when I was growing up, so I'm gonna go ahead and give her flowers.
Where can you find Kristi Yamaguchi?
Nick in the afternoon. Where else?
Thanks, Kristi.
And 21-year-old Nancy Kerrigan, who was from Massachusetts, took third, making it a complete American victory. While Kerrigan had a similar lower-class background to Tonya, she had the refined and waspy image desired by the skating world. Though this would be Tonya's last completion of the triple axel in competition, and she'd never repeat her scores. For the time being, she was shaking up the stuffy figure skating world with her rough edges and homemade costumes. In her personal life, she was married to an abusive man named Jeff Gilooly, who she had been dating since 1986 and living on and off with since 1988. He helped pay for her skating stuff. Her career was meh in 1992, the same year she threatened somebody with a bat during a road rage incident, according to police and media, a baseball bat, and according to Tonya, a wiffle bat. Commentators noted that judges showed favoritism towards her during the Olympics and that she was out of shape and no longer performing the triple axel. Her coach explained her poor behavior to the Chicago Tribune as a lot of the behavior she had and statements she made were because she thought her privacy was invaded. The writer continued, that may no longer be a problem, the way she's skating. In 1993, Tonya began to train again, when she and Jeff were getting divorced for a second time, but they'd be back together by October. The same month it was reported Tonya had been in the news for shooting a gun during a domestic dispute. Also, Tonya fever had swept her small town, and a fan club was established for her. Susan Orlean described them as suggesting additional opportunities to support Tonya, fundraising, giving her cosmetics, hair care, and nail care, making calls about her to sports talks programs, or mailing her encouraging cards. In November, she got a death threat phone call that caused her not to skate. Gilooly's friend Shawn Eckhardt, a braggadocious, compulsive liar, became her bodyguard, and would later claim she hired him to make the threat. Tonya's main rival for the upcoming January Nationals was Nancy Kerrigan, the reigning 1993 champion. On January 6, 1994, Nancy was practicing at the Detroit Cobo Arena. An assailant named Stant, who had followed Kerrigan from Cape Cod to Detroit, hit her leg with a 21-inch baton, and a cameraman filmed the moments immediately after.
What happened?
Stant made a dash for a set of locked doors and threw himself through the plexiglass head first to hop in a waiting vehicle driven by his uncle, Derek Smith. Nancy's leg was bruised, forcing her to withdraw from the upcoming competition, and immediate suspicion fell on Tonya Harding, who won the title on January 8th that secured her spot on the 1994 Olympic team.
A teary-eyed Tonya Harding was greeted by fans as she arrived back home in Portland, ecstatic over her victory, but still looking ahead.
I'm really happy, but it won't be a true crown until I get my chance with Nancy, and that'll be Olympics, and let me tell you, I'm gonna whip her butt.
She replied when asked if someone she knew planned the attack during a January 10th interview, "I have definitely thought about it." The incident became an immediate sensation, with ice skating thrust into the national spotlight. Reporters descended on the sleepy Portland, and thousands of people came to watch her practice at the Clackamas Town Center's ice skating rink, reported the Washington Post. This quaint, mellow city of parks, coffee houses, and microbreweries sitting in the shadow of Mount Hood has largely been divided between Harding supporters and detractors. But a new, bigger group has emerged, those who are sick and tired of this sensational soap opera. Some locals enjoyed the boost to the economy, added the Times. One eatery hung a 28-square-foot sign outside of its doors that reads Lila's Tonya's Special, a club sandwich and chicken soup. Some people were motivated to join the Tonya Harding fan club and support the working-class Harding for $10, with one telling Orlean after the scandal, "Scum, that's what they call us. It's a class difference. That's what all this mess is about, Tonya. She's just a regular Clackamas County girl. In my opinion, she's a modern gal, what we would call a tomboy. She can hunt, she can fix a car. She calls herself the Charles Barkley of figure skating, and she's right. She's a stud." Orlean added, the Tonya Harding fan club, which was started a year ago, has seen its ranks almost double to around 800 members from 32 states and 7 countries, including Australia and South Africa. While Tonya denied knowing anything, Shawn Eckhardt bragged to pretty much everyone that he had been responsible for ordering the hit on Nancy, and his own father bragged about it too. He, Stant, and Smith were arrested by January 13th, thanks to their non-discretion and a bunch of foolish mistakes, and they claimed Tonya was in on the plan. Tonya denied knowing anything about the attack through her lawyer 3 days later. On January 18th, she told the FBI in a 10.5-hour interview that she only knew of the plan after January 11th. Jeff Gilooly, meanwhile, began talking to the FBI on the day that I was born, January 26th, telling them that he and Tonya planned to mail threatening letters to Kerrigan. He also said Tonya seemed interested in a plan to physically attack Kerrigan. The next day, Tonya announced in a press conference that she had learned that Jeff plotted to harm Nancy. On February 1st, the day after Nike pledged $25,000 to sponsor Harding in the Olympics, the owner of a Portland restaurant named the Dockside Saloon found discarded garbage in her private trash cans. When she searched the contents to find a name and have it sent back in a move of pettiness, she found a check stub to Tonya and a piece of paper with her handwriting, detailing Nancy Kerrigan's practice venue in Detroit and her training schedule. The handwriting would later be matched to Tonya after Peterson called the FBI. Gilooly secured a plea deal to serve 2 years in exchange for testifying against everybody else. Eckhardt pled guilty to racketeering and got 18 months, but got out 109 days early, and Stant and Smith pled guilty to conspiracy to commit assault and also got 18 months each, with Stant only serving 14. On February 5th, the U.S. Figure Skating Association gave Tonya 30 days to respond to allegations that she had done wrong, while the U.S. Olympic Committee planned to drop her from the team and let Kwan compete in her place at the 1994 Winter Olympics in Norway later that month. Harding filed a lawsuit on February 10th, but 2 days later, she was given the green light to skate. And Kwan was sidelined, but she bounced back by the end of the decade and become one of the biggest names in ice skating, if not the biggest, because I heard her name everywhere growing up. The Olympics wanted the Harding versus Kerrigan press, and the world wanted to see how they would perform against each other. The competition's ratings were higher than the Super Bowls and the third most watched event ever at the time. On February 25th, Kerrigan placed second in the competition, while Tonya, who begged to start her lackluster performance over again after breaking her bootlace, came in 8th place.
トーニャ・ハーディングは伊藤みどりとジャンプの力を競いました。得意のジャンプがどこまで出るか。トリプルルッツに失敗。そしてこの後練習では 50% 以下の確率でしたが3回転半、トリプルアクセルは飛べないか。
The next month, she pled guilty to conspiracy to hinder prosecution, admitting that she did know about the crime after it had been committed, and helping Shawn and Jeff come up with the cover story on January 10th. She received 3 years of probation, a $100,000 fine, 50 hours of community service, and was banned from the U.S. Figure Skating Association. She was also stripped of the title she won in January. Gilooly, whose name and mustache had become a national punchline, leaked pictures of their wedding night sex tape to Penthouse magazine in hard copy in August. Harding got a cut of the profits from when the tape was sold by Penthouse. By October, her last believers had abandoned her, and her fan club disbanded. The case became a crucial bit of cultural lore for 1990s class and gender discussions. Tonya embodied white trash stereotypes that were becoming the focus of national media. And had she not been able to do the near impossible triple axel, she likely would have remained shut out from the skating world. Muse Time magazine, Tonya Harding is not, nor has she ever been, like most skaters. She is neither politic nor polished, sociable nor sophisticated. Instead, she is the bead of raw sweat in a field of dainty perspirers, the asthmatic who heaves uncontrollably while others pant prettily, the pool-playing, drag-racing, trash-talking bad girl of a sport that thrives on illusion and nationalism, whiteness, and Tonya Harding politesse. When rivals fairly float through their programs, she's the skater who best bullies gravity. She fights it off like a mugger, stroking the ice hard, pushing it away the same way she brushes off fans who pester her for autographs. Tonya's anger issues and involvement with the plot swept her into categories with other women making headlines. Claimed one 1994 chain email, "I dreamt that I went to bed with Hillary Clinton, Lorena Bobbitt, and Tonya Harding. When I woke up this morning, my knee was killing me, my manhood was gone, and I didn't have any health insurance."
TV's coverage of the Lorena Bobbitt malicious wounding trial will continue after our coverage of the trial of Lyle and Eric Menendez, who have changed their plea and now claim that their parents were savagely beaten by figure skater Tonya Harding.
The nonstop coverage and jokes eventually petered out, and Tonya went into odd jobs, including being a hired ice skater at hockey events where she'd be booed, and she performed well in ESPN Professional Skating Championships in 1999, but her career went nowhere. She eventually got into boxing, even fighting Paula Jones in 2002, and she won by technical knockout because Jones quit. Nancy Kerrigan briefly continued her skating career, and while she had sympathy from the general public and media up and through the Winter Olympics, they turned on her afterward. When she was overheard saying, "This is so dumb, I hate this," at Disney World, which was taken out of context, she was called bitchy.